Hi everyone, and welcome back to our advanced technical analysis video brought to you by Wealthy Education. Today we're going to be talking about the No Sure Thing oscillator. This is our fourth video in our trend analysis indicators. You'll see that the No Sure Thing oscillator, or the KST, is a momentum oscillator very similar to the MACD, or the Moving Average Convergence Divergence indicator. The KST is a weighted average of 4 smoothed rates of change, where our MACD was an average of the 26 time period minus a 12 time period average. The formula for the KST is the rate of change moving average number 1 with a weight of 1, and then each rate of change moving average that we add, we increase the weighting. We also add a 9-period smooth moving average, which provides a signal line. As with the MACD, we'll be looking for divergences and signal line crosses of the KST, and generally the KST is a slower indicator than the MACD, so we'll see fewer crosses to the upside and downside. A cross of the 0 line in the MACD is not as important as a cross of the 0 line in the KST. So let's go ahead and look at a chart of the KST and see how the KST gives buy and sell signals. Let's place the KST, or the No Sure Thing indicator, on a chart of Lockheed Martin. We're going to start on the daily chart. We'll go up to indicators on the top of the screen. We'll type in KST, and the No Sure Thing indicator comes up. Close that screen, and let's see how the No Sure Thing indicator performs. One thing to talk about here is that different indicators perform either better or worse in certain types of stocks. So in figuring out which indicator works best for the stocks you're trading, you may want to try a couple of different indicators to see which one gives you better signals for that stock. So see how KST performed for Lockheed Martin. We begin this chart with a stock trading relatively flat here in February, and then we get a sell signal from the KST as our signal line crosses down through the KST. The stock traded down with that line, so we have a good signal there. We get a buy signal here below the 0 line, which also was a good signal, and then we get a sell signal here. But the stock had already traded down, so we see the KST was behind the stock already moving down. So we would have wanted to look at this large red candlestick, which is a bearish engulfing candlestick, and that actually would have been a signal that the trend was reversing. So we follow along with our KST. It's below 0, so that's a bearish sign. We get a cross to the upside, but it's not as important because it's already in a bearish trend, so we're not going to be trading against the trend at this point. And then we get another cross down, and we could have used that as a sell signal or a short signal. The KST moves down, comes back to a buy, which again, we don't want to follow until we get confirmation of crossing the 0 line, which is here. And then the stock moves into a bullish trend and moves up. So in most cases, the KST gave us a good signal, was a little bit late on one of the signals. Now let's take a look at it on the hourly chart. The KST is above the 0 line, a bullish indicator. It crosses down, but by the time the cross happens, again, on the hourly basis, the stock has already turned down at this point. We get a bullish cross when the KST is below 0, so we don't want to do that. Don't want to take that trade until we get confirmation. And then we get not much of a move in the stock. It's trading flat until we get a bearish signal as the KST crosses below the 0 line here. And actually, this would have been a good trade, taking a short position as the KST crossed below 0. And the stock moved down from the 348 level all the way down to the 324 level. Let's zoom in a little closer and see if the KST would have helped us on a 30-minute chart. And here we can see if we were following the 30-minute chart, we get that cross down a little bit earlier below the 0 level, which would have warned us that a possible downtrend was coming in the stock. And we get a nice move down on the 30-minute chart when the KST crosses below 0 again. So that's using the KST with Lockheed Martin, a good signal on the 30-minute chart, a pretty good signal on the hourly chart, and most of the signals on the daily chart were correct when we used the KST for bearish signals below the 0 line and bullish signals above the 0 line. So that's the KST in multiple time frames with Lockheed Martin. Thank you for watching this video on the No Sure Thing indicator. In our next video, we'll be talking about the parabolic stop and reverse. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.